That is such a big no-no. I could not imagine doing it. Nah. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie and we have talked about many times on this platform that what we do to be sustainable, to lower our impact, isn't always the same. Our day-to-day lives aren't always the same, and what we deal with mentally and what kind of motivation and encouragement we have isn't always the same. And as such, what we do to lower our impact and be more sustainable doesn't always have to be the same. I usually say that we can't perform on the same level every single day. That is true when it comes to our productivity, and it's definitely also true when it comes to environmentalism. So today, I thought I wanted to take you guys through 10 of the things that I do even on my most burnt out days, even on the days where I am the most demotivated. I am sort of gravitating towards calling it lazy, but understand what I mean and not what I say when I say lazy. When you just want to lie down and be a couch potato and don't want to do anything. Like when you have that kind of mindset, and we all do, it's okay. What kind of actions stick? Also, let me know if you want a video about the eco-sustainable actions and habits that I postpone a little bit if I feel burned out or demotivated. If you want to know what things I sometimes press pause on, let me know down below. But for this video, let's stick to the habits that I always stick by, and let me know what kind of habits that you always manage to pull through on, even on your most demotivated days. Let's go. First of all, and this might be the biggest one, so if you can't do anything else, this is the one to stick by, in my opinion. And it's just buying less. It is the not shopping for leisure or shopping to make yourself feel better. And that goes for any kind of shopping. If I'm in a mood where I'm just craving a quick serotonin fix, it is so easy to end up spending money to feel better. And even when it's on Vinted, on secondhand apps, I try to keep those purchases for times where I'm more motivated, happier, less lazy, so to speak. The absolute best thing we can do for the planet, for our environment, is to just buy less crap. So if you can stick to that and not buy unnecessary bullshit to feel better, you're already doing an amazing job. Honestly. Another thing I always just have been able to stick by is buying secondhand or thrifting rather than buying from new. So if I need something, I will always go on Facebook Marketplace and check out the options, or go to a local thrift store or secondhand app, etc. I will always look for secondhand options before buying something new. And if I'm feeling super demotivated and I cannot find what I'm looking for secondhand and I just can't wait, don't want to wait, whatever, I'll look for options that are not secondhand. But mainly what happens when I'm in this sort of mood is that I end up not buying something, and then I keep looking for it when I'm feeling more motivated, and then I end up finding a secondhand anyway. Instead of buying into the convenience of just buying everything that I want right now, have it delivered right now, I'm just waiting. See if it pops up. Thrifted, secondhand, whatever. And that I've managed to stick by. Also, mainly maybe out of pure laziness, because then I can just wait until I find it instead of going out and doing the work of finding out which store and how to get it delivered. Honestly, I think it's simpler and easier for my brain if I just wait until it pops up on Facebook Marketplace. There's that. Number 3 of things I have managed to do even when I am burnt out, demotivated, or just straight out lazy is my plant-based meals. I want to say quote unquote struggle meal. The term struggle meal is used very lightly on social media, I reckon, but to me there's a certain level of seriousness to it when it comes to the state of one's mental health. And I've been fortunate enough to not be in that kind of situation where I've not been able to cook anything whatsoever. But even the most simplest meals that I make when I don't want to cook is what I would prefer to call it instead, maybe. Still plant-based. And if I don't want to go out to a store or find out where I get certain types of soy or pea proteins, I just use beans and lentils and Bob's your uncle. Making my meals plant-based is one of those habits that also matter so much, because it's choices we make every single day. And the more choices we can make in the more plant-based direction, the better. And there's also aspects of both ethics as well as health related to it. So yeah, sticking to a plant-based diet has definitely been something I've been able to do even when I'm the most demotivated. And now we're getting into sort of like the more detailed things, but sorting waste, I don't necessarily see it as an option. option, it is just the default. Now, luckily, the system where I live is pretty simple. I have my own bins and I go out and I put my waste into the specific bins. But if I'm elsewhere and I'm super lazy or demotivated, I will usually save it until I have more energy to figure these things out. But I'm not going to throw glass or metal in with general waste. That is such a big no-no. I could not imagine doing it. Nah, fam, we're not gonna do that. That's such a weird line that I'm drawing in the sand. I don't want to do that. Even when I'm just like crawling out of bed, we're not putting glass in general waste. It is, Number 5, finishing up products before buying new. So this is not necessarily, it is a sustainability habit. It's just also something I do out of, economic reasons. But a lot of products are being thrown away where there's still stuff inside. And that always kind of bothers me. So I try to finish all my products completely before throwing them away. If I have a tube for mayo, I will cut it open and like scrape the rest of it out. If I have a jar of jam and it's almost empty, but there's still like jam residue inside, I'll add like balsamic vinegar, maybe some rice wine vinegar, maybe some olive oil, and shake it up and use it as a vinaigrette. It's just, that will always happen. If I'm cooking anything that requires tomatoes from like cartons or tins, I will like swirl some water around the tin or the carton and throw that into my pot as well. Always count on it. Count on it. I will also upcycle or reuse things. If I'm out at a restaurant, I'll bring my napkin in my bag. If I'm using any kind of disposable cutlery, chopsticks, whatever, I will take them with me home and see if I can find a use for them. And sometimes I don't know what I'm going to use them for, and especially like if you're demotivated, if you don't want to do anything, I'm just going to save it for later when I know I might want to use them. I recently had a weekend where I just wanted to do fuck all, and I cropped a little t-shirt to make it into a cute crop top, and I was about to throw the rest of the cotton out when I remembered I need cleaning cloths, and then we're gonna figure it out later. So now I just have this massive loop of cotton fabric, and I haven't cut it into cleaning strips yet, but it's happening at some point. One of the things that I struggle to do so badly if I'm demotivated or burnt out or just like a couch potato is going outside in general. I know I'm going to feel better when I do it, stupid mental health. So I try to, and sometimes I've even instructed my partner in see if he can kick me out into a little mental health walk, because we both know that I'm going to feel so much better. I'm going to be in a better mood. When I do that, which isn't necessarily always easy, if I see trash on my path or in the street, if I see trash when I go outside, I will still pick it up and bring it with me to the nearest bin. I've always done it. I'll always do it. I can't imagine passing it up. It's a completely automated reflex at this point. Like, oh, I'm gonna save it. And last time I was on a run, I did it and I just passed like 9 kilometers. I had 1 kilometer left and I found this massive piece of plastic and I picked it up and then realized I have to run the last kilometer with this massive piece of plastic. Cool. But we did it. I had no additional resources for anything when I got back home, but I picked up trash. I'm gonna add reusable cloths and towels to this list because my household has never really been a disposable paper towel household. Now, I would like to admit that my partner has brought in disposable paper towels, and I pride myself on not using them. I use my reusable towels, I use my reusable cloths, and I've just always done that. So I'm just gonna continue to do that. I also think it's easier to clean up messes when you have something more sturdy in terms of fabric. It sucks up more liquid. I think it makes more sense. Even on my lowest days, I'm still using my reusable kitchen cloths, cleaning cloths, still doing it. No disposables. Big one, number 9, but saving resources inside in general. This goes for heat, water, electricity, anything. If I'm brushing my teeth, I turn off the tap. If I'm putting shampoo in my hair, I turn off the water as well. I turn things off standby so they're not still using power even though the things are switched off. And I put on my big cozy sweats, jumpers instead of turning on the radiator. This sounds like small tiny things that we're doing, but as a matter of fact, these are some of the things that make the biggest difference. Not only for the amount of energy that our homes require, but also in terms of our electricity and heating bill. I am not made of money, so it might be an environmental thing, but since moving out into a bigger house that costs more than a small flat, it is definitely also an economic thing. So I would like to think that these eco habits actually also save us a tremendous amount of money. which I think they do. We need to calculate this at some point because I think that they do. Anyway, I do this even when I'm at my lowest. Actually, I kind of prefer to layer up rather than turning on the heat. I love to have a big sweater on as well as my duvet cover and just have this little cozy cave of coziness. It's just perfect. Instead of turning on AC or the radiator, we don't have AC, but the radiator specifically, I love this way more. I love it way more eco-friendly. Look at that. Last up, and this might make me seem like a hoarder. I'm okay with it because there's some truth to it, but just do this in your own way. I don't care. If I have low energy, the last thing I want to do is sit there and try to repair something and become annoyed when it doesn't work out right. So when I'm not feeling motivated to repair something and all I really want to do is chuck that shit into the bin, either that being a piece of electronic equipment that doesn't work, socks or clothing that I do not necessarily feel like I have the mental capacity to fix, I'm putting it into a box for later repairs. And this can be a slippery slope. I'm very much well aware of that. It can be a slippery slope into just straight up hoard, into a very, I might need that someday, and suddenly you live in a house where the newspaper stacks, they reach over your head. And I see the problem with this kind of logic, but it's what I do. So there's that. I'm trying to be honest with you guys. So recently, me and my partner, we had a movie night that we then, right before we were about to start watching the movie, we went, should we fix some of the stuff in the box while we watch the movie? Because it was a comedy anyway, so you didn't really have to sit there and be like super tense. And then we ended up turning our movie night into a repair night because we saved things that we know we don't want to throw it away. That doesn't make sense, but we can't fix it right now. We don't have the energy or the mental capacity or the skills or the overview of what needs to be done. So we're saving it. And then we fixed 2 pullovers, some socks, a pair of trousers. It was fantastic. We fixed so much stuff and I was so excited and happy about it. So yeah, we have a box and sometimes we actually end up going to the bottom of it and actually fixing everything. But this can be a slippery slope. I'm very well aware. But this is what I do. And truth be told, at this point, I know when I save something in this box for later, that I'm going to be so fulfilled when I fix it. So the idea of feeling fulfilled later is sort of what motivates me to not just chuck it into the bin. And with that, those are 10 things that I still do even when I'm at my lowest, even when I don't want to do fuck all. Let me know if you want a video about some of the eco actions that I kind of press pause on when I'm not feeling good or when I'm not feeling motivated or excited about these kinds of eco habits. Let me know. And let me know down below what kind of habits that you always stick by, even when you're feeling kind of shitty. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have an amazing day and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.